Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Ete with another episode of The Company Next Door. Today, I'm sitting here in my home studio, and I got my good friend Paul Clark here from Timber Ridge Custom Homes. Paul, how are you doing today?
Really good. Thanks, Ete.
Awesome. Paul's a busy man, so I've been trying to get to the point and cut out some of the chit-chat for him.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
So I want to tell you a little bit about Paul. So Paul and I met about, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. I moved into the neighborhood. Since then, he's moved, but we were neighbors, you know, played on the same basketball team a little bit. It was some fun things, and just a great guy, and he's got a great company. It's Timber Ridge Custom Homes. These guys do really custom stuff, and we're going to put a link to their site in the notes, and we're going to talk about it. But they basically is a home builder, building very custom. We're not going in and building, you know, mass-producing small box homes, but very custom, detailed homes. And we'll get into it. You can see some of his work locally. It's fantastic. So I want to ask him some questions about that. But Paul, the first thing I want to say about Paul is Paul has a gift, and he's looking at me like, where is that going with this? To when you're around him, he just has a gift to make you feel like you matter. You know, when I see Paul, I'm not a touchy guy, but when I see Paul, he gives me a hug. He grabs my arm, whatever it is, and for some reason, I'm good with it. And I always like it, and I feel a connection with him. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. So I want to start right there, kind of a weird place to start the interview, but I want to ask you about that, Paul, because I want to ask about that and how that rolls into business. So first of all, where did you get this gift from? Were you always that way, just to be able to make people feel comfortable and loved? Is that a natural gift? Was it taught to you by your parents? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, that's a very interesting question.
I try to get you interesting here.
I don't know, Ete, where that came from. I appreciate you saying that, and I'm humbled by that. But I really care about people, and I think that's what life's all about. It's about our loved ones and our friends, and I think we're here on earth to make life better for other people and help them through their trials. And I really like people, and there's not very many people that I don't like, and even those that I don't like, I try to do something to help them feel better. And so you call it a gift. I don't know if it's a gift, but I just really enjoy people and relationships, and you know, a lot of my work right now is just stems from that, and that's my ultimate goal, is that our customers have an excellent experience, as awesome as the features are and some of the things we do in our homes. I gauge my success more by how much joy we can bring to people, how excited they can be about what we're doing. And so I guess to answer your question, I really enjoy people, friends, family. I think that's what life is all about. Awesome.
So, and that's what I was wondering, because, you know, one thing I've learned about business over the years is it's really, like you're saying, it's about the people. It's really about, you know, you're a builder, the service industry, I guess. It's about serving someone. And so, yeah, what you're saying is just you care about people, and you enjoy people so much that you carry that into your business. And I have found that too. A few years ago, my business was growing, but I didn't know some of the clients because it was growing so fast. And I wasn't that happy as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, because it was getting further away from that core value of people. How has that helped you? So when you're with your team and you guys are working on a project, how do you translate that message to your team? Like, hey, guys, you know, don't get lost in revenues or, you know, all this. Keep it at the core of the people. How do you embed that message into your company?
That's another good question. There's a lot of positive energy in my team.
Okay.
My wife and I were just talking the other day while we were driving what an awesome team we have. And that saying of success breeds success, I think that positive energy breeds more positive energy. I was talking with someone the other day, and they said to me, what you give out is what you're going to receive. And so we're a very positive company. Construction, when I first started in construction,
it's not known for being a positive place.
Early on, I realized that construction and confrontation tend to go hand in hand. and I've worked really hard in my career to eliminate that element. The thing that I found is in most construction situations, you've got the owner on one side of the fence, the builder on the other side of the fence, and one can't win without the other one losing. One can't get something without the other one losing something, and just that tug of war seemed to be the root of most of that confrontation. And so we've over the years we've worked really hard to try and create a team effort where there is no fence between. We get involved very early on, and our goal is to learn what the homeowner is trying to do and how much money they have to do it, and then try to help them accomplish that rather than, that tug of war of, they want something for less, which means the builder has to make less money, or just that whole process. And so one of the keys that we tell people in home building is that there's 3 keys to building a successful custom home. And number 1 is establish a budget. Number 2 is hire your builder. And number 3 is to have your builder take you through the design process so that you're actually designing with the target in mind, and everything is moving that direction. And my job during the design phase is to obviously give input, but mostly my job is just kind of a cost consultant and say, that's really cool, but that's not going to fit in your budget. So do you want to adjust your budget, or should we look at some other options for that? So just getting together and being a team, we're trying to give them as much as we can. We're trying to be as helpful as we can, get them as much as we can for their money. But yet at the same time, we need to stay in business. And so it's been a really good model and brought us a lot of customer satisfaction.
I really like what you're saying, because at the core, you've already brought up 2 powerful principles. The first one is make your company about people. Care about people genuinely, more so than you do about revenue, right? And the second point is involve. I mean, you're almost, what I'm hearing is you're an advocate for your client. You're saying, you're understanding their vision, and then you're trying to find them the best thing. It's not like the tug of war. I feel it too. I think in every industry where it's, I hired this company, and there's that little bit of tension, resentment. But what you're saying is you work with the customer or the client, and you're a team. I love that. So, and I know it's done well for your company. So let's back up a little bit, because sometimes I like to start in a weird place to throw people off. And I think I did that good there. So let's go back. How long have you been in Heber Valley, and how long have you been doing Timber Ridge?
So we moved to the Heber Valley in 1998. From Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Denver was via Houston, via Salt Lake, via Provo, via Rexburg. So we started out at Ricks College. That's where I met my wife. And we got married there, went to BYU, went to work for a national home builder out of college, and ended up in Houston and transferred with that company to Denver, and then came to Heber City. Heber City was really a gift, a tender mercy. We wanted to be closer to home. We wanted to be in a great neighborhood and community to raise our family, and Heber's been all of that and more. So we came in '98.
Okay.
After working in a partnership for a short period of time in 2000, I went out on my own and started Timber Ridge Custom Homes. So Timber Ridge has been in business since 2000.
Okay.
And we're on our 178th home for our clients or our customers in that period of time. So we've been here a while.
Yeah.
We've built, initially a lot of our work was in Park City, and my offices were actually in Park City. I think it was 2006 we moved our offices back to Heber City. And our goal has really been to become the premier home builder of Wasatch County. And we still do occasional work in Park City, but the majority of our work is right here in our little valley, and we love that. We love that we're the hometown builder, and right now 3 of the homes that we're building are within a 5-minute walk from my house. If I didn't have a vehicle, I could do the rounds in about 15 minutes, so it's wonderful.
That's awesome. I go online. Everywhere I search for you, I found fantastic reviews. The pictures, everything looks like it is a premier company. It looks like you're not going in and mass producing, little boxes, and it's very custom. It looks detailed and just high quality. So I think you're achieving that, and it sounds like you've been here for about 20 years now in the Valley. So what was you said you wanted to get close to home. I didn't understand that part. What was home? Was this Utah home or?
Yeah, so my wife's from Bountiful, and I grew
Okay.
up in southeast Idaho.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we're an hour from Heidi's family and 4 hours from my family. And so our oldest was in second grade when we moved here. Every one of our kids have graduated from Wasatch High, and our youngest is 16, so he's 2 years away from that. So Heber is where
home.
we've lived the longest and where our kids call home, and it's just been a wonderful place for us.
Awesome. Let me ask you a little bit. How did you grow the company? I mean, you've been here a time and almost 20 years, and you've got plenty of work. And what was the most effective way for you to grow this company?
Well, it's been a challenge, I think, as any business owner would attest, that it doesn't just happen. There's very few businesses that are just instantly successful, like your business was that day. But we started, in 2000. 01 came 9/11, and then we had the dot-com bust, and then we had a couple of years of we're recovering as a business from some tough times, and then 08 and 09 hits and just about wiped everything out. Early on, we were growing quite rapidly. We had about 25 employees, and that wasn't a good model for me. I felt like I was a babysitter, and I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do. And so we had cut back to about 7 employees when we hit the 08, 09 era, and we went down to just me.
Wow.
There was no other employees in the company, and I actually had my tool belt on. I remember there was a time where I thought we were done. We'd tied that proverbial knot at the end of the rope, and we were holding on with one hand. And I was remodeling a bathroom for an older couple in Old Town Heber City, and I think the total job was like $3,900, and I'm the one doing all the work. And
Wow.
And I remember thinking, okay, when this job's done, I need to find a real career that I can make money in. And we'd been working with a client since Parade of Homes back in 2006.
Okay.
And they'd been touching base with us every year and saying, next year we're going to build, next year we're going to build. And right as that job was finishing, I got a phone call from them that said, we're finally moving forward with our custom home. And that was 2010. We finished that. We started it in 2011, finished it in 2012. It was our 2012 Parade of Homes house. And I still am so grateful for that family to have come through when they did, and then just to trust me and believe in what we were trying to do. And they're still one of my greatest raving fans. They just love their home and what we did for them, and continue to show it off to their friends and family members. So shout out to Tom and Marilyn Fowler, who are just fantastic additions and assets to our community. I don't know if you know Marilyn, but she's very involved in the nonprofit.
Yeah, she does a lot of good work for the community. Yeah,
awesome. They're just amazing, and I love them. So back to the company and the growth.
So 2012, you've just done your first Parade of Homes.
That was our third
Parade of Homes.
Fourth Parade of Homes.
Okay.
That was our fourth one. We'd done one in 01, one in 02, one in 06, and then one in 2012, and started to get our feet back under us, and the economy started to slowly recover, and we just kept trying to do great work for clients, and every year it just got a little bit better. We had a time when we were getting a lot bigger than I think we needed to be, and it was hard to stay on top of our commitments to our homeowners and our team. We've had some turnover in our team, and just every year is, set new goals.
Yeah, just keep working.
Keep pushing forward, and each year it just gets better and better. And right now, as I mentioned, we just have an amazing team. I'm very involved in the front end. Once we get a home to contract, I've got guys that are better than I am at taking these awesome custom homes through completion, and just really grateful for the team that we currently have and the good work that they do.
So that's awesome. This story is getting better than I thought. Because, like I said, you go on and you see what's going on. You go, wow, the premier company. But I love you sharing some of the backstory, the struggles, because that's where we learn. So was there a pivotal moment? You're talking, you start in 2000. Of course, you said 9/11 recovery, the recession, all these things happen. And then it sounded like I missed it, but somewhere in there you got into the parade of homes. Like you said, you had the tool belt out yourself. So you went from larger to scaling down, just getting by. And then something turned and you got into the parade of homes. Was there a specific incident or a relationship or something that helped you make that corner?
Yeah, that specific moment in our history as a company was really the Fowler home and them coming through. And, it was a time when during the recession they could have said, we can find a better deal, we can do something else.
Yeah.
And they really believed in me and what we could do for them. And from that point forward, the parade of homes generated some activity that then created other opportunities for us. And we've just continued to grow since then. Right now we've got 6 employees. We've got, we'll do anywhere between 5 and 6 homes a year.
Wow.
And we've got just a wonderful group of clients right now, a wonderful group of clients that we've built for during the last 20 years as Timber Ridge and 22 years just here in the valley. But it's just been each day we get up and we work hard and we try and take care of the challenges that are out there, make sure that our customers are taken care of, that the concerns or issues that we have in our homes are resolved, and that we're moving forward, and just try to really take care of the people, and then the other things just fall into place.
So let me ask you this, 20 plus years, how do you still stay excited to get up? A lot of guys, oh man, we get antsy or there's other projects. What keeps you lit up about doing what you do? What's your favorite? What do you love about this?
I'd say there's 2 things. One, I'm a builder by heart. I grew up building with my dad. When I was 16, we started building apartment complexes. And when I started building, I didn't know there were subcontractors, because if we needed to dig a hole, then I was on the backhoe digging the hole, and if there was concrete to do, then I was doing concrete. And so I think subcontractors are the greatest invention of all time. So I love that, but I have a deep background in the trade, so I have a good understanding of what it takes to make things work. But I'm a builder at heart, and I love to create, and I think that passion continues today in several ways. One, with construction, it's a very unique and creative form of art. It's more art than it is science, even though you have engineering and you have certain things that have to happen a certain way. A majority of what's going together is very dynamic, and you can adjust and go in different directions that can really enhance things. And so I love that aspect of it, and being creative and designing and building is part of it. But then 2, just that building of relationships. So number 1, I get really excited about where my team is and how much of the process they've taken over.
Gotcha.
And I love seeing them succeed. So that's a great part of it. And then also just the building relationships with the client. And when they come to me with an idea or a dream, and I can take that and turn it into reality for them, then I really get excited.
That's cool.
So
yeah, that's cool. And that is a really I don't get to do it on the scale of a home, which is so important to everybody. So that just sounds awesome. So let me ask you this. You've shared a little bit of the hard times. Is there a single moment, and maybe there's a million of them, as every entrepreneur has them or business owner, where you're just like, I don't know if I can do this anymore? So the past 20 years, can you remember a specific time or just a period of time when you're just like, I mean, you mentioned that you're thinking maybe this might be it. I got the tool belt on. Was that the lowest point, or what was the hardest thing you had to go through?
I think that was a scary moment for us. I think that, we fear the unknown and not knowing what was going to come next in our lives. But as I mentioned before, we've been very blessed, and the Lord's always taken really good care of us. But sometimes He doesn't let us see very far into the future, and He wants us to take that step of faith. But that was a tough time. There have been several times, I think, financially, where I just felt like, hey, we're doing good things, but we're not doing enough that's making money that this is going to take us through. And I think in the past maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years, I feel like we've crossed that threshold where it's not such a constant battle. It's still something that we need to manage and pay very close attention to. But I feel like that's less of a daily burden for me, and more of a, we build a great product, we charge a fair price for it, and as long as we can stay busy, everything kind of flows. And that's a wonderful feeling when it's not every day. How are we going to get to tomorrow? And so that probably happened in the 2015-16 era.
Gotcha.
When we've kind of had our bumps and bruises and things were starting to consistently improve and progress. And I guess it comes back to that thought that I mentioned earlier of, what you put out is what you're going to get back. And the person that was sharing that with me said that he had done that for a lot of years and wondered if that was ever really going to play out. And he said, and then it did, and it just came exponentially. And I feel a lot of that same power. The harder I try to make something right for somebody, or look at it through their eyes, or make sure they're taken care of before I'm taken care of, then the more of that comes back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe in that. And it goes back to the core of the business right there of why, the reason you're doing what you do, because you love people and you want to help them get that dream. So quick question, is your family involved? So I think Heidi does some, or did she do some involvement with the business? And your children, do they help you out? Or how does that play into it, having the business for 20 years and then raising all these kids?
Yeah, they've all helped in the business, everything from just construction cleanup to a couple of my daughters have been admin assistants for me and worked in the office, and my sons have helped with construction. Heidi is probably the style guide of my life. She's a lot of things to me.
Does she buy your clothes?
Yes, she does.
Oh, there it is, everybody. The secret's out. We were wondering. Paul's always looking good with his dress and there with his clothes, and there it is. Okay, now we know. That's okay. My wife buys mine too.
Yeah.
If I'm wearing something that doesn't look great, I picked it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Heidi's primary role and what she really wants to be in life is a mom and now a grandma. We've got 2 grandkids now, and she spends a lot of time with that, and we still have one of our kids at home. So she's very involved in the business on the back end.
Okay.
We walk homes together. We look at designs together. She doesn't have a desk at the office. We have an in-house interior designer who's kind of the day-to-day, but she's very involved in our discussions and what we're doing and the direction we're going. And then the homes that we've built ourselves, she's done all of the design, all of the interior design, all of the decorating, and several of those have been our Parade of Homes houses.
Wow.
So she's amazing. She was named best first-year student in her interior design program in college.
Wow.
And then she decided after her first year of interior design that was going to consume her.
Yeah.
And that what she really wanted to do was be a mom. So she switched fields in her major and And that's when I met her, and I probably wouldn't have met her if she was doing 20 hours a day of interior design. But she's amazing. So she's probably the biggest part of the business. I've got a daughter that does all of our social media advertising. She manages our social media pages and does a fantastic job there. And all of my kids are extremely talented. They all got a good chunk of Heidi's design and style. And so I've got two other daughters who are photographers and videographers who do shoots for me, and they do video clips when we're doing a parade or something that will loop through the house. And so they've all been involved at one point in their lives, and some are still involved today. And I just really enjoy working with them. My second daughter, who's married and has our two grandkids, her husband, Justin, just an amazing guy and is part of our team. He's our purchasing manager.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he does all of our bidding and contracts and all of that. And so we're grateful that they're part of our team along with everybody else that works with us.
That's awesome. And it really is. I have a lot of family that work with my company, and it's, a lot of people say don't mix family and business, but if you can do it, it's a blessing to everyone. It really is a blast. And who can you trust more? Yeah. Let me ask you this. So about 20-year journey with this company, where do you see the future of Timber Ridge? What do you hope to be doing over the next 10 years? Is it continuing and just building, however many houses, custom homes you want to build each year? Is there anything else that you see in the future for yourself? Are you retired, handed off? What are you looking at?
Yeah, those are great questions. Heidi and I would love to serve missions.
Okay.
And one of the things that we've talked about is trying to do that sooner than later.
And so what he's talking about is as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, when you get, how do I say this, older in age, he's going to kill me. No, but when you get, when your kids are out and you're in a good spot, you can volunteer your time for a year or 2 years or so and go do service for other people around the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've talked about that, and we're not sure if that's when I'm 55 or that's when I'm 65 or that's when I'm 80. But we'd love to do it when our health is still good enough that we can really make an impact, rather than just kind of coast through that. We want that to be a positive thing. So we're starting to have discussions about how does that work.
Okay.
Our company is in a really good spot and has great team members and is moving towards a situation where my involvement is less needed.
Awesome.
And so hopefully that continues and I can be as involved as I want to be, and when I want to be able to say, hey, let's go serve a mission or let's go do this, that we can do that. So the goal is that the company continues with or without me.
Yeah, of course.
That would be the long-term goal, and again, just a wonderful team that maybe 5 years ago, looking at my team, I wouldn't say that was a direct possibility or something that we were very close to. Today, I feel like there's great possibilities there for that.
Awesome. And for those of you, hope you're catching on this message that I'm seeing throughout this interview is Paul loves his team. And I think there's a message there. When you build the right team with the right product and the process, when you combine those three things, incredible things happen. That's how you build a great company. Let me ask you this. For you, what are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned over the last 20 years that you could share with younger entrepreneurs, whether they're builders, contractors, creatives, whatever it be? But what are some of the things that you've learned that could be valuable? And you could say, if you were going to tell your son he's getting into business, you say, hold on, let me tell you these things. Is there one or two things or a couple things that really stand out to you that you've learned?
Yeah, I think number one, you got to do something you love.
Okay.
I think if you're excited about what you're doing and have that drive and that motivation that's kind of internal. It's not, I'm doing this because it pays well, or I'm doing this because it gives me a lot of exposure and makes me look good, or other things. I think number one, if you're doing something you love, then you can get through a lot of tough times. And tough times, I don't care what business you're in, are just a part of learning and growing and being successful. I don't think that there's a formula for success that doesn't include a certain amount of failure or setbacks. And so number one, I think you got to pick something that you really enjoy and that you can be passionate about. I think that passion drives you to find ways that this could become a career. You know, many things that people like to do don't necessarily generate income.
Right.
But if you're passionate about it and you're committed to it, I think you can find those ways. I think the second thing, and I learned this at an early age with my dad, and I'm not sure I appreciated the lesson at the time, but to work hard. I think that I remember as a kid, we're in the 6th grade and we had leased a gas station. So we were managing this gas
Your
station.
family leased a gas station?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
this is
so-
going to be good.
Yeah, my dad was a school teacher, and there was 9 kids in my family. So we did a lot of other things to try and keep food on the table. And I remember in the 6th grade, there were a couple of times I was the only person at the gas station. So, and this was back when you pumped everybody's fuel.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you took their money, and I think I had barely learned how to use that old cash register that had the 100 buttons that you would push, and then you'd crank the arm
down, and it opens up.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so I like to tell people I was the best windshield washer in the 6th grade out of anybody I knew, because we'd fill them up, we'd wash their windshield, but we ran a gas station, we fixed wrecked cars, we logged, we built wood burning stoves, we did construction, we did a lot of things, and I remember it in my youth, watching the other kids going and playing with their friends when I was stuck working, and thinking what a bad thing that was for me, and how I wished that I could just go
Play.
and now I look back and I think, that's probably one of the greatest lessons I learned, is just to be able to work and not just drudge through it, but actually work and feel the gratification of a hard day's work.
That's awesome. Those are great lessons.
Thank you.
In kind of winding down, I want to ask you, because, let's say it's a nice summer day. It's a Saturday. It's July. Who cares? Mid-July. What's Paul Clark doing if he doesn't have to do any work? What are you doing for fun? What are some hobbies that you enjoy doing?
I have a lot. We could do a whole nother interview.
That's why I said it's a summer, because I figured we could do a summer, a fall, a winter, like most people here in Utah, I guess, what are some of your hobbies? What are things you love?
My favorite place to be in the summer is Lake Powell.
Yeah.
And if we're not in Lake Powell, then out on Deer Creek or somewhere, just enjoying the water. I grew up without a boat. We had aunts and uncles that had boats, so we'd get to go on those occasional family reunions where you spend one day on the lake and there's one boat and 30 people and everyone's standing on the beach watching the people out in the
Waiting
boat,
for their turn.
wondering if they're going to get a turn. So in high school, I actually got a water ski, a slalom ski for one of my birthdays, but we didn't have a boat yet. So I learned how to slalom ski behind a station wagon on a canal in Idaho.
That's awesome.
So, and when we finally did get an old beater boat, we used to try and barefoot behind this boat that wouldn't go fast enough to barefoot, and so we've had a lot of fun on the lake. I really enjoy the water. I enjoyed hiking and being outdoors. We've climbed the Grand Teton.
Wow.
I think I've done it 8 times now. I've done it with most of my kids, and many years ago, Heidi ended up going with me.
Was she unhappy about that?
She struggled with that. That was a little more intense than she was ready for. But I was so proud of her that she made the top, and so I love the outdoors. We love Moab. We take our Jeeps and bikes down to Moab. We go to the sand dunes. We work hard and we play hard.
Good. And I think that's important, the balance on that. So guys, I'm really impressed with what Paul's done. I think one of my favorite things overall that I'm hearing from this interview is at the heart or the core of everything he's doing, whether it's relationships outside of work, in work, with his career, even with his hobbies, is it's just about quality. He's not living a life that's about quantity and just trying to get through things. It's about building something that's great. It's about having relationships that matter to you. And so I can see that throughout, and you see that if you get a chance, please check out the link below to look at their site, and you'll see that translate into the properties and the different homes that they have built.
There's a fun 3D tour button on most of the homes, and you can really have some fun with that. There's a little feature in the bottom left-hand corner that looks like a house, and if you scroll over it, it says dollhouse, and it actually takes the 3D image and puts it into this 3D dollhouse that you can spin around.
That's cool.
And then you touch anywhere and you click anywhere on it, and it'll dive into that room. So you're spinning it around, you look at something you like, click on it, all of a sudden you're there back in that virtual tour. So anyway, something fun to do.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks, Paul. Thanks for coming by and taking some time. I know you're busy. And thank you guys for tuning in and checking this out, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.